It's 4 o'clock on a Thursday. You know what that means, don't you? It's time for another exciting episode of Taxi's Quarantini Happy Hour. Yahoo! Here we go. Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing well today. Today, you guys get to be the jury of somebody's peers, of a couple of somebody's peers, and I'm anxious to see how you vote. Let me get to the chat room and say hello to everybody. We've got Bob Gunnerfeld, Jesse J. Peck, Martin Gravel, Chris Anderson, Dan Weber, Giovanni Lanza, Andre Stepanian, Peter Rahill, and others to show up momentarily. Yep, you're going to be the judges and the jury. No executioners allowed on today's episode. Speaking of executioners, Deb and I have been binging Game of Thrones. I know we're years late on that, but oh my gosh, that show has so much nudity and violence, and it's rated like for 14-year-olds. I can't believe it. Anyway, sign of the times, sadly. Great show, though, gotta say. We've been doing about 3 episodes a night because we have no life. Anyway, good to see all you guys. Hello, Darren Fletcher, Dean Turner. Who else haven't I said hello to? Terrell Beckless. Yeah, Martin, you're right. Such a family show. Hello, Cass. How are you? So, all right. By the way, I want to say thank you. Several of you posted stuff in the comments as I requested, and you guys dutifully did that and gave me some good stuff for shows. And I totally planned on doing those things today, and then I got 2 emails today that made me cranky. I'm not cranky at the people that wrote them. Cranky that, whatever. I'm not even going to go there. Anyway, hello, Marion. Hello, Akira. How are you? So yes, today I'm going to read these emails and see what you guys, what you would do if you were in my position, or what you would say. Hello, Kip Johnson. I should probably let the room fill up a little bit more, just so we've got a bigger jury, a grand jury, if you will. Marion, you clearly forgot, or clean forgot about the Tuesday Quarantini. Well, yesterday I was scheduled at 11 a.m. to join the A&R team from the office for our every other Wednesday, we called a TMZ meeting, and we had somebody out here looking at a cracked granite countertop. And I kept thinking, I know I've got something else I should be doing, and sure enough, I was like a half hour late to the meeting. Hello, Crash Gates. And my friend Lisa, hello. Hi, Lisa. Welcome to the big show. Hello, Simon. Hello, Debbie Ward. Hello, Pierre. You know, it's funny. Cass just said, good hair day, a la Kirk Douglas. I looked in the mirror about 10 minutes ago. I went upstairs, splashed a little water on my face, dabbed a little makeup on my shiny forehead, and I thought to myself, man, my hair is getting long. I've got like a pompadour going on up there, so thanks for noticing that. You're funny, Cass. Hello, JP. How are you? Katie Dwyer, hello. All right, so today, I hadn't planned on doing this, but a couple of emails came in today, and I want to see what you guys think. As I mentioned a minute ago before the room was kind of filled up, hello, Lane. These emails made me a little cranky, not at the people that wrote them so much as I feel like I've failed to get certain messages out, even though I repeat them over and over and over again on Taxi TV, at the road rally. Panelists at the road rally have said it. Guests on Taxi TV have said it. I've said it. I've said it on Quarantinis. People have talked about it in the chat room. It's frustrating. It really is. It's like taking a needle and putting it in a balloon. You know, it's like just lets all the air out of my balloon. Anyway, so one of these is from somebody in, where did it go? Crapperoonie. Do I have that one? Oh, I do. Okay. One of these is from somebody in Italy. It's not Giovanni. Actually, I'm going to send Giovanni over to this person's house to have a very strict conversation, a very stern conversation. Thanks, Lane. Anyway, no, not spam. Although, speaking of spam, here's a funny note to start the day out with. One of the problems we have, we have a pretty big email list, and I spent like $10,000 on email consultants last year or the year before to improve our deliverability. We did all kinds of stuff, and very little of our email goes to spam folders now, which is good. But a lot of our email, because we send them every day, Google treats them as promotions. Kristen, welcome. Glad to see you in there. Hope you're feeling better. Anyway, I got an email from Google today, which obviously owns Gmail. Gmail is the company that shoves so much of our stuff into the promotions tab, and a lot of people don't look at their promotions tab, therefore they miss the daily taxi emails. It causes a great deal of consternation for me, for Bria, who works with me on the email stuff. So I got an email today from Google about some changes they're making to AdWords, which is the pay-per-click stuff where you pay every time somebody clicks on one of your ads, telling us that they're making some changes to the way they work. And even Google's email landed in my promotions folder. So I thought that was pretty hysterical. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do today is address the email from the person that's asking for a refund. And I want to see what you guys think. I'm not going to mention his name. I'm not going to mention the name of the other person whose email I'm going to read today either, just for privacy reasons. Anyway, so I want to read Taxi's guarantee that's in a really big font, and it's framed and you can't miss it. If you go to How Taxi Does It or How Taxi Works page on our website, the guarantee is like this big. You really can't miss it. And it says, and I'm quoting word for word, it says, "We're so confident that you'll love belonging to Taxi that we'll shoulder the risk. If you think our industry listings aren't the best you've ever seen, we'll refund your membership fee in full. If you don't think our feedback helps you improve your music, ditto. And the same goes for our unmatched customer service. If you call with a question or a problem and you're not greeted by one of the friendliest, most helpful people you've ever met at any business, we'll refund your membership fee." And that's not a 30-day guarantee. It's a full 1-year guarantee. Yes, you read that correctly. We give you a full year to make sure you're happy with our listings, feedback, and customer service. And if you're not, mail a letter during that 365-day period telling us why you're not, and we'll refund your first year's membership fee. For obvious reasons, we can't guarantee that you'll get a deal through Taxi or that your music will be forwarded. That depends on the music you pitch and how well you target those pitches. This guarantee applies only to the first-year membership fee and does not include renewals or any additional upgraded services offered by Taxi. We regret that we can't give refunds based on financial difficulties, the inability to dedicate the appropriate time to writing and pitching your music through Taxi, outside success, the quality of your recordings, or becoming discouraged if your music isn't there yet. It actually says there in quotes. We're here to help you with that, and that's why we'd like you to use our service for a full year. So, first of all, let me know with some +1s in the chat room if that was in plain English and pretty easy to understand. I'm curious to see if I need to modesty, Taxi's best quality. Should I reword that, or does it make sense? A bunch of +1s, Peter Rahill and Jesse Peck. They're not conformists. Rather than a +1, they gave me simple enough and clear. Thanks, guys. Andre says +1, even I can understand. Dan Weber sounds great, ML. Um, Giovanni says +1 for me in spite of being 10 a.m. in Italian or Italy. I don't know. Clear as it could be, completely clear. Sounds like you're trying too hard. no, no bones in the songs. Seems good to me. Can you read it again in Italian? Apparently I should, Although the person who sent us the refund request from Italy seemed to speak English, at least his typed English was very good. All right, so here is the letter from this gentleman. Dear Taxi, I'm blankety blank from Italy. After my first year with Taxi, I have mixed feelings. Maybe it's because I live far from the US, but having 21 forwards in 9 months, I stopped submitting in November, and not receiving any contact from any library seems pretty weird. I even had 6 forwards for the same request once. So with much regret, I won't renew my Taxi membership, as I don't think Taxi is the right investment for my music. That said, I'd like to activate my 1-year guarantee and ask for my membership fee refund. Thank you, and all the best from Italy. So, this gentleman, nice email, didn't have a nasty tone or anything. I certainly appreciate that. 21 forwards in 9 months, but not receiving any contact from any library seems pretty weird. Is that weird? To have 21 forwards and not hear from anybody yet? Brace for impact. Oh, man, you guys are funny today. My spirits are already better. I can always count on you guys to cheer me up. John Pearson says, not weird at all. Simon says, yes. Peter Rahill says, how is that Taxi's fault? Gregory says, I have 55 plus forwards in 3 years. Dean Turner says, no, it's not weird at all. Not weird at all from Andre. Was it instrumental or vocals? I don't know. He didn't say. Well, these days you can't condemn them for trying to get a refund. No, I can't. I'm not condemning anybody. Well, forward, I'm thinking, is the ultimate goal, but in reality, it isn't. 21 forwards. Jan Weilich says 21 forwards in 9 months by itself sounds good to me. Kristen says, well, sir, libraries are weird. Calm TF down. That's shorthand for something. You're not going to get a refund. Whoa, Kristen, I've just made you, you're our new chief financial officer. He didn't specify what genre either. Dean Turner says it could take approximately forever to hear. Phone service in Italy is dodgy. Got forwarded for crying out loud. All right, so now, there you go. Dean Flesher, you nailed it. In my opinion, I agree with you. Obviously hasn't watched enough Taxi TV. John Pearson follows that up. Sounds like he's got good stuff, but he's only getting started. Yes. Are we giving out any sentences? Certainly not the kind of sentences they give out on Games of Thrones. Man, they kill a lot of people. Game of Thrones, they kill a lot of people on that show. Oh, man. Anyway, all right. Everybody who thinks that this person should get a refund based on the fact, do you want me to read the guarantee one more time, or is that redundant? Jarrell Beckless released the lions. John Dancy says, I learned more in 3 hours online. Can you imagine what an entertainment lawyer or consultant would cost to tell you this stuff? You're right. All right, here we go. So I'm going to read it one more time. We're so confident that you'll love belonging to Taxi that we'll shoulder the risk. If you think that our industry listings aren't the best you've ever seen, we'll refund your membership fee in full. If you don't think our feedback helps you improve your music, ditto. And the same goes for our unmatched customer service. If you call with a question, or a problem and you're not greeted by one of the friendliest, most helpful people you've ever met at any business, we'll refund your membership fee. That's not a 30-day guarantee. It's a full 1-year guarantee. Yes, you read that correctly. We give you a full year to make sure you're happy with our listings, the feedback, and customer service. If you're not, mail a letter during that 365-day period telling us why you're not. We'll refund your first year's membership fee. For obvious reasons, we can't guarantee that you'll get a deal through Taxi or that your music will be forwarded. That depends on the music you pitch and how well you target those pitches. This guarantee applies only to the first-year membership fee and does not include renewals or additional upgraded services offered by Taxi. We regret that we can't give refunds based on financial difficulties, the inability to dedicate the appropriate time to writing and pitching your music through Taxi. Outside success, the quality of your recordings are becoming discouraged if your music isn't there yet. We'll help you. We're here to help you with that, and that's why we'd like to give you a full year. We'd like you to use a full year of our service. So there you go. So, all right, everybody who thinks that he should get a, Liz, get your pencil and paper up. I'm going to have you do a total. Everybody who thinks that this gentleman should get the refund, vote +1 if he should get the refund, -1 if he should not. Dum, dum, dum. Ooh, I better not hum that. I'm going to get a copyright strike. In my previous business, I've given full refunds before just because I don't want to deal with the repercussions online. To me, it's worth it. Cue sad violin music. Well, the thing is, I would keep my word, but it says we don't guarantee that you'll get forwarded or that you'll have success. And it actually specifically says that the refund is granted if you don't think our feedback helps improve your music, unmatched customer service. There was one other thing. Best industry listings, members. So the 3 areas that we give the refund for: industry listings aren't the best you've ever seen. Feedback helps improve your music, and unmatched customer service. So it specifically says those 3 things. It also specifically states what we don't give refunds for. We tried to be super clear with it, and we've run this by at least 3 attorneys over the years, and we've slightly fine-tuned it based on what the attorneys told us. Kristen Knight says, please send him a bill for the time you spent discussing his request with us. Kristen, I love the way you think. A guarantee is a guarantee, but blacklist the individual. Yeah, the people that do get the refund that really don't deserve it never bother going online and saying, wow, Taxi's a great company. They honored their refund even though I wasn't asking under the terms in the refund. So the votes were 5 people said refund, 13 people said no. There you go, more than 20 and voting. Anyway, so yeah, Look, there are times where people will say, we literally get emails from people saying, I want a refund because I just got my bills, my credit card statements in from the holidays and I'm broke. I need a refund. Even though it says you don't get a refund if you're out of money. Let's see, what else does it say? The quality of your music or recordings are becoming discouraged if your music isn't there yet. Financial difficulties, inability to dedicate the appropriate time. We get that one all the time where people say, I only submitted once or twice in a year. I want my money back. That's like saying, I just leased a car. I went and got myself a little baby Mercedes for $450 a month. And I know it's a 10,000 mile a year lease, but I only drove it 200 miles. I'd like to turn it in and get my money back. Jesse, how about Taxi Show with Judge Judy if she's still around? I think Judge Judy's going to outlive all of us. Just meeting all these great friends and musicians and with all the pros on weekly TV, it's a sure thing that you got your money's worth. No refund, sorry. Giovanni, there you go. Now remember, person who sent that email, Giovanni does live in your country, and he says that he's going he's going to bring over a horse's head. I could send him a horse, a head of a horse. There you go. If it was only a refund. Anyway, so yeah, these things really, it upsets me. It's like, dude, if you watched any of the taxi TVs or the road rally panels where people talk about, how many things you need to get forwarded and how long it takes for libraries to get back to you, I think some people think that, wow, I got picked to be forwarded, therefore I should get a deal out of something. Not necessarily. So I want to address that, and then we'll move on to the second letter. I did a new member Zoom last night. We do this now every month, like the first Wednesday of every month for anybody who joined in the last 30-day period, to teach them these things right off the bat so that they don't have to learn them 2 months or 6 months or 9 months down the road or never. So I addressed this issue last night. I'm sure I'll address it in future new member Zooms. But the deal is, when you get forwarded, there are myriad reasons why you don't hear back, within that 9-month window that this gentleman alluded to. Number one reason, music library decides that they're going to refresh a few genres. They run some listings with Taxi because they're genuinely looking for, like, let's say, new orchestral stuff with better sounding strings because the stuff they have is 10 years old, doesn't sound that good anymore. Or they want to beef up their hip hop stuff, or they want new dramedy cues with a little bit of a twist. And they run the listings, and we do what we do, which is filter the stuff. We bundle it up. We send it over to them shortly after the deadline. And then they may have, all of a sudden, like, they land a new client that's got a hot TV show, and they're just pounding it every day, working on getting music to that new show from their existing catalog in the library. Therefore, they see the stuff from Taxi. We know they download it because we send it to them on Disco. We can see when they've listened or downloaded it. We know they've got it, which is the case now virtually all the time. I mean, there are a few rare instances where people forget the email or something. We have to remind them. And then they get sidetracked by the show they're working on. And before you know it, they've been sidetracked for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 6 months while the show is constantly hitting them up for new material. And they leave the folder in their desktop or the to-do, I got to get to this someday folder. There are other instances where a library is looking for something very specific because they're already in a relationship with a music supervisor on a particular show. And that supervisor asks them for something that they don't have in their catalog, and they run a Taxi listing looking for it. And then we forward the stuff over to the library. And meanwhile, the library may have gotten it from one of their existing composers, or maybe the library, let's say we sent over 17 things as forwards, and the library found what they needed in the first 3 or 4 or 10. like I've mentioned in the new member Zooms, I'm sure I've mentioned it on Taxi TV and in the Quarantinis, the world record for number of years before somebody heard back from a library was actually 7 years. Obviously, that's kind of rare, but I would say that on average, it's 2, 3, 4 weeks is kind of the window, but it's not rare at all for people to hear back a few months later. And 21 forwards is not nothing, but is it a fair statement? And I'm doing this because we're going to send a link to today's show to this gentleman and let him decide whether or not he should get the refund. But, where the hell was I going with that now? I forgot. No, I totally forgot it. Oh, well, I'll think of it in a minute. Yeah, the music has already been forwarded. It's already gotten, I can't read that word, fuller whiffed from his membership, fulfillment from his membership or something. No, we don't notify the libraries. After somebody's gotten a refund, we don't reach out to the libraries and say, take this person out of contention. That wouldn't be fair, I don't think. Hey, Pat Wara, how are you? Oh, yeah, the 21 forwards in 9 months. I mean, that's not nothing. But as anybody, I would love to hear from John Pearson on this because he's maybe got the most experience in the room. Is 21 forwards. I believe that the thing to do is go, wow, I'm doing something right. I'm getting a lot of forwards. Therefore, I should just do what Michael always says, which is write, submit, forget, and repeat. Because the more you write, the more you submit, and just keep doing it, keep cranking it out. Over time, those forwards will turn into relationships with libraries. Am I crazy about that, or am I correct? Yeah, he has already gotten the full benefit from his membership. That's right. Mike S. says number 22 was the one. Could have been. So Andre says, so you make 300 submissions and then quit on the 364th day. How is that fair? Oh, people do that to us all the time. No, the refund is only for the membership fee. That's right. And the membership is only $300. John Pearson says, spot on, Michael. Just getting forwards is part of the learning curve. It took me about 35 forwards. Well, there you go. I got to say, John, your face popped into my head when I read this. I thought, gosh, I'll bet you anything if I ask John Pearson, he's going to say, 21 is not nothing, but keep going because sooner or later. So this guy's going to quit Taxi, and he's probably right on the cusp of being successful. So I don't know. It's frustrating. And I'm not mad at this person. I feel like maybe I'm falling short educating people as to just hang in there and keep doing it. It will come. Yeah, for the gentleman who I'm sending this video to in the chat, John Pearson says, and now 4 years later, he's in 23 libraries and signed 2 contracts last week. 23 libraries. And that's what I always say is hang in there because you want to be in as many libraries as you can be in, not 1 or 2 or 3. Taxi is not a quick money business. The music industry is not a quick money business. I think Crash Kate says, people seek short-term reward versus long-term sustainability. Well said. This person could have fallen on hard times. That's true. But he didn't say that. Jeff says, as a newbie, I can say you're very clear on the process. I hope so. Thank you. I'm really frustrated by this because, gosh, we try so hard to paint a realistic picture of how things are going to go, and that's if you do the work. Pierre signed to 5 libraries. I think Ian says, I think he's on the right track, just needs to keep going. It will come. Um, Maybe the person has run out of music to submit, has hit writer's block. And here's what happens. I would say at least 50% of the time, the people that get the refund end up coming back to Taxi. And it's not infrequent that they say, man, I never should have gotten that refund, or I never should have quit. I should have stuck with it. And now I realize the errors of my way and I'm coming back. We actually, in the refund, the guarantee says you only get it on your first year of membership. Reason being, if somebody renews, clearly they were happy. But what happens is, and when people do get a refund, we send them a nice, polite email that says, here you go, we're sending you your refund. However, just be aware that you cannot come back and rejoin Taxi. And some people go, oh my gosh, that seems so unfair, but there's a reason for it. The reason is we have people that will join Taxi because they see one listing that they're sure they've got the absolute perfect thing for. They join Taxi, they submit to that listing. 30, 40 days later, they get a return and they hit us up for a refund. We had one guy who hit us up for the refund, got his refund, then rejoined Taxi. So we sent him a one-off crafted letter just for him saying, by the way, remember, you actually, the refund said or the letter that you got with your refund said that you can't rejoin. However, we're going to let you rejoin because you seem sincere. But again, we need you to acknowledge that you got this letter that says that you will never ask for a refund again. He goes, no problem. Sure enough, the guy asked for a refund again. We get these people that, submit, get a refund, rejoin, submit, get a refund. So the guy who got the refund the second time, I think even wanted a third refund. And we said, So he reported us to the Better Business Bureau and sent them like a 400-word email saying that we were a scam and we ripped him off. And the Better Business Bureau puts these things up on their website. They don't ever vet the complaints. I could call and say, Steve Jobs came back from the dead and did something horrible to my family members. Therefore, I want Apple to give me back my money on my computers. I'm just making stuff up, and the BBB puts it up there anyway. So there you go. Maybe a 3-year suspension period for cancellations. Do you know what they do when they get that letter that tells them that they can't renew? People will join using a new email address and using a fake name. We've had people even go, because we can block them from their IP address. So we've had people actually, go to another IP address, like do it from their phone versus their laptop or their desktop computer. Yep, they use a fake name, they use another email address, and they use a different IP, all to rejoin Taxi, make another submission, and then ask us for a refund. Anyway, that's the not fun part about running Taxi. You guys, on the other hand, are the fun part. Okay, so here's another email, and I'm not going to mention the person's name. I'd really appreciate if the person, because I believe the person is in the room today. And again, I'm not reading this email. I do have permission to read this email, which I really appreciate. But the person shouldn't identify him or herself. But I just want to see what your take is on this, you guys. It's not asking for a refund. Hi, I have to renew my membership in March or May. Question. AR dispatch and regular listings are now included together, ? My regular listing is in May. I think you mean the regular membership is in May. And no, we haven't combined dispatch and regular Taxi because I just don't have the heart to roll out the new higher price until COVID is behind us and people are on a better financial footing. On another topic, I wonder why forwards generate so little signed deals. Last 10 forwards generated 0. One song was forwarded 4 times with no results. That raises questions about the validity of these listings. That upset me. Since 2018, I've submitted about 200 listings, I think submissions, got about 50 forwards. 4 of them generated signed deals with serious music production libraries. These 4 deals generated 100 songs /Qs /stems /alts. I have a very good relationship with all these publishers that regularly send me requests and briefs about their needs. Most of the songs cues I submit to them generates, after certain corrections, a signed deal. Now I am waiting for placements. I am wondering why I should continue paying for a service that generates a 2% success rate. Would you invest in a company that generates 2% interest? I regularly watch Taxi TV and the Quarantini episodes. I've heard all the horror stories that generated the taxi rule not to disclose the forwardee. I think he means the listing company. I kind of agree with that, but it certainly does not help transparency over the validity of the listing. Mind you, 3 years of submissions, listings, forwards, deals still waiting for the first placement, and then wait for the PRO quarterly report, kind of asking myself if all this work and money is worth it. Where's the beef? I've learned a lot of things through Taxi, but I find less and less incentive to keep paying around $2,000 a year for membership and submissions, and I'm not counting costs for gear and subscriptions to East, West, Sibelius, Pro Tools, Waves, etc. They are a must if you want to provide adequate broadcast quality music. I've been playing music, teaching, and working as an agent for, I won't mention what, because it might give away this person's identity, music store salesperson, musical instruments importers, dance troupe composer in all my musical career for almost 50 years. Taxi and the production music libraries have been by far the least paying gig I ever did. So where's the incentive? I don't know anymore. Hope you understand my point. Not trying to discredit Taxi in any way. I didn't think that you were. Only asking myself if this is still worth it. Should I get back to my... So I'll get back to my DAW and polish my instruments for the next listing. Still got 2 months left of my membership. Bye for now. All the best. So let's take this... I haven't been seeing what you guys are posting in here. Kristen Knight says, that's insulting and offensive. Marion says, seriously, the validity of the listings, are they crazy? That one really, that upset me. That anybody who regularly is part of this crew or part of the Taxi TV crew that thinks that the listings aren't 100% valid based on the fact that they've only gotten 4 deals so far. Oh my gosh. John Pearson says, maybe the same person could look at the forwards blog and see how many forwards each listing gets. Some libraries receive so much great stuff, it really takes something special to jump out of the herd. Good point. That might make a good episode, Taxi TV, says Peter Rahill. Jesse says, what else would you be doing with your time? Excuse me. Cass says ego versus reality. Stewart says, yeah, but what's their music like? Are they competitive? Well, they must be if they've gotten forwards and they've signed with 4 libraries. Mr. Anonymous, this is from Marion. I hope you get a forward and get signed so you will stop taking the process out on Taxi. He has had forwards and he has signed deals. Now, here's the amazing thing, is he actually said the words, and this is, people will post stuff like this on other blogs and other forums on the internet, which I believe is entirely incorrect information, and I'm getting out the highlighter because I want to find it again. Okay, I've learned a lot of things through Taxi, but I find less incentive to keep paying around $2,000 a year for membership and submissions. $2,000 a year? So we went into our trusty database, which now, of course, do I have that piece of paper printed out? Nope. I've got to open my email and read an email from one of my staff members. Yeah, $2,000 a year. We have had people that have spent that much, which is just crazy. New mail. No, not that one. Damn. I hate my mailbox. Here we go. Does this one have... I actually have an email. Now I don't know what the heck I did with it. I had somebody do research and figure out how much money this person actually spent. The bottom line is I'm not finding that at the moment. I don't know why. But turns out that it was $2,400 over 3 years. That the cost of memberships and all the submissions over a 3-year period was actually only $2,400, not $2,000 a year as stated in the email. Let me get back to you guys. Where'd you go? There you are. He may be talking about expense for travel to the rally as well. I don't believe this gentleman went to the rally. Dan Weber says, from one bedroom producer to another, it's always going to be difficult to get exactly what you want from this business, so just keep writing, and for God's sake, trust somebody along the way. Anyway, yeah, that was really insulting about the listings, not being real. I mean, if anybody who is a very regular attendee of the Quarantinis and Taxi TV should know how, how real the listings are just based on all the people that get signed to deals. Obviously, it's not like we've got, you can't get deals if the listings aren't real. Anyway, this person's not asking for a refund, but I would like your opinion. Should this person renew or not? +1 if the person should renew. Hey, Bob, by the way, thank you for the email about the new SSL thing, which looks really tempting, but at $2,700 for 8 faders, not that tempting. My guess, +1, everybody should renew. Thank you for that. I'm going to make you the new director of marketing. There's no typical dollars if you're placed in a show. It all depends on if it's instrumental or vocal, how long it appears. Is the show on a smaller cable channel, a bigger cable channel with international distribution? Does the show repeat over and over? Is it on broadcast network at prime time? Is it, 4 seconds of airplay, or is it a minute and a half? All those things determine. Jeff Duffield says no. The only one says the person shouldn't renew. It's for him to decide. I agree. I just wanted input from you guys. I can't force anybody to renew or not. So 19 said renew, 2 said do not. All right. So there you go. Anyway, that's how I spend probably 2 hours out of every day is dealing with stuff like this. The SSL UF8 is only $1,300. I thought it said $2,700. Yeah, I went to their website and I saw that four of them were lined up that you can use four and have 32 faders. And whoa, it's like, man, oh man, that was extremely appealing to me. But even at $1,300 a piece, that's $4,200, or no? What's four times 1,300? $5,200. Um, that's a lot of money. Yeah, I know. I agree with you, Pat. I wouldn't want a customer who wasn't fully satisfied. Um, it's not that they're unsatisfied with taxi, really. It's unsatisfied. It sounds like with the industry. But yeah, the doubting the integrity of taxi really upset me. It normally wouldn't upset me so much if it's somebody that didn't know what this person knows from being part of this family of ours. $1,200 on Sweetwater? Wow. We're talking about the same thing, the brand new thing that just came out. Jesse Zoom has 16 channels. Love working with faders. I know. I can't wait to get faders. Wow, $12.99. Man, oh man, oh man. Anyway, it just, I want faders. I definitely want faders. Faders and mute buttons. But Pat, don't other controllers have automated faders as well? Yeah, once I get a control surface with faders and mute buttons on it, you guys, I'll probably stop doing quarantinis because I'll be mixing all the time. Oh, man. Liz, do you know what the dates are for the road rally this year? People keep asking, and honestly, I signed the contract like 2 years ago, and I haven't bothered to go back and look at it. I thought about reaching out to Angel the other day, but she's on vacation right now, so I didn't. Um, Kristen, I love you. You're hysterically funny and spot on. Liz doesn't know what the dates are for the rally. I honestly don't know. I'm sure if I want to spend 10 minutes searching through saved documents on my computer, I could probably find it. Bottom line is, it will be the first weekend in November, unless Halloween butts right up against the first. Here, you know what? I can make an educated guess by looking at a calendar. How's that? Um, let's go. Okay, so Halloween is Sunday, October 31st. So sounds like the road rally will be Thursday, November 4th through Sunday, November 7th. That sounds, I would say, 95% certainty, November 4th through the 7th. And if you're coming from outside of the U.S., you'd probably be pretty smart to fly in on Wednesday the 3rd. Excuse me, just so you can have a day to sleep it off when you get there. Kristen, you're typing with the same phone you're holding. Trying to type with the same hand I'm holding the phone, not easy. I can't do it with two fingers, or holding it in one and doing it with the other. So you're doing great. Um, Nice to have Road Rally before Thanksgiving. Yeah, originally when we picked November, it was because ballroom rentals were actually a little cheaper in November. We figured that it would be chilly enough in other parts of the country and other parts of the world that people may want to come to sunny Southern California for a little warm weather. And then we also looked at the calendar of events for other music-related conventions, and November was what we picked. And frankly, I think every single road rally, um, I don't even remember now. I think we started doing them in 1996 or 97, and every one of them has been in early November like that. Yep, in LA, unless COVID is still an issue, or to what degree COVID is still an issue, it could be another virtual road rally, which if I hope I don't sound immodest, but we were very, very happy that trying to do 3 days of 8 hours a day of panels with different panelists and all the technology involved and stuff was a big challenge, but we pulled it off with very few hiccups. So if we had to go virtual again, we will, and we will do it even better because now we've got that experience under our belt. But the best part of the road rally is meeting all these people that you're meeting in the chat room and all these people that become friends. I personally cannot wait until the next real road rally, the next physical road rally, to see all of you guys in the chat room get together. And I'm making that a promise, but we're going to have to keep out the riffraff and not that I want to be exclusionary, but I get a pretty big suite at the hotel as part of the deal for bringing that much business to the hotel. And I can hold about 30, 40 people in that room. It's a one-bedroom suite that presidents of the United States have stayed in. It's not that fancy. It's just big. But it's got a couple of bathrooms. It's got a living room. It's got a dining room. It's got a nice big patio on it that looks right out at the runway at LAX. So, yes, I would very much like to have all of you who are regulars on the Quarantinis come up one night for a private hang just so we can all be together physically. I think that would be awesome. But I will have to ask people not to bring, my friend wants to come too, because we'd have 100 people and I just can't physically hold that many people. So it's going to have to be no plus ones, just the core Manson family. Pat where has no friends. Yeah, remember, maybe not everybody saw it, but I got a T-shirt recently that says, I socially distanced before it was cool. No, Marion, you can't bring your mom. I look forward to meeting her, but you can't bring her to our special evening. Yeah, I mean, come on, all of us together, for like 3 hours one night. I'll order up a bunch of pizza and beer and wine and soda, and we'll just hang out. I mean, no particular plan. Maybe we could have people. I have done some showcases in the presidential suite where we invited some industry people up and had like 5 or 6 taxi members. They were all people that I personally picked that I thought would collaborate well together, and that was the bigger reason I wanted them up there. But we ordered a bunch of pizza or sushi or something, and I think we had 5 or 6 or 7 industry people come up and watch this private showcase. The room actually has a Yamaha C7 grand piano in it that they never tune. I actually paid to get it tuned. Here's a funny, okay, we got 6 minutes left. It's time for another funny Lasco story. I hope that came through. Anyway, so many years ago, around 1985, 86, I was going through a divorce with my first wife. And I had nowhere left to go. I ate up, I surfed every couch I could, literally had been asked by the wives of 2 or 3 of my friends that were so kind in putting me up at their house. It's like, okay, time for Mikey to go now. And at one point, I had nowhere else to go. I literally was homeless. But I was the manager of a very large and very high-end audio post-production facility in Midtown Manhattan called Howard Schwartz Recording. It later became HSR Studios. So I was kind of keeping the whole divorce thing and the fact that I'd been staying at other people's houses. At one point, I was staying in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, and commuting from almost Philadelphia into New York City every morning for work and going back every night. I did that for almost a year. I was so broke from paying the lawyers that I couldn't afford to get my own place. Anyway, so I had nowhere else to go. So I decided, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to stay at the office and just wait for everybody else to leave at night. And around 8 o'clock at night, I would work. And they would go, wow, you're working late again tonight. Yes, I am. And when they would all leave, I would take out moving blankets from underneath the Yamaha C7 and stack them up on my desk in my office, not in the studio, but in my office. And I would sleep on top of 4 moving blankets that were folded over. And one night I woke up and I felt something tickling my chin. I opened my eyes and there was about a 2-pound rat on my chest, sniffing my chin. Freaked me out. Yep, Bucks County, Pennsylvania is a beautiful place. So anyway, I decided not to sleep in the office anymore. So I decided to sleep on the couch in the control room of, the room that had the SSL and stuff in it. So there was a nice big couch down in front of the SSL. And I would bring my pillow and my blankie and I would go in there and I would sleep on the couch in the control room. One night in the middle of the night with all the lights turned out, although I could see a little bit of a glow from the LEDs, and that sort of stuff in the control room. But it's like 5 o'clock in the morning. I was sound asleep and I heard the control room door open up. And I sat up and went, "Who's there? Who's there?" And this person screamed, "Ah!" We both screamed, I think. Turns out it was the piano tuner who came once a month to tune the piano because that room got used for music sessions, not just voiceover and audio post. And he would come in the room in total darkness. Why? Because the piano tuner was blind. So he didn't need to turn on any lights. Man, oh man, I scared the hell out of him because he'd never run into anybody in a dark control room at 5 o'clock in the morning, and neither had I. Anyway, so there you go. Another crazy story from my life of crazy stories. So there you go. 3 minutes left. Yes, it was a rat, a king-size, New York City-size rat. I have literally seen rats. I had a rat run across my feet one time, taking a break from a session, and we were up on the 19th floor, and I went down to ground level and walked around. The studio was basically on top of Grand Central Station in New York, in a building called the Gray Bar Building. So I decided I need to get out of here, give my ears a little rest, maybe go grab a slice of pizza, whatever. I'm walking down the street and a rat ran out from a doorway, ran across my feet. I am not exaggerating when I tell you that thing was the size of a small cat. It was like a 4-pound rat. How much do divorces cost? It all depends on how much money you have, how long you've been married, many variables. I can tell you one thing with absolute certainty, because I know this from virtually every friend of mine who's ever been divorced and hired a divorce attorney, that the attorneys quickly want to know how much money, how much equity, what is your net worth. And you think they're asking because they want to figure out how to divvy it up between the two people getting divorced. The real reason they want to know is the lawyers will collude with each other and they will drag the divorce out and cause all kinds of problems and animosity and warfare, like the movie The War of the Roses with Kathleen Turner and Michael Douglas, I think it was in that. They will drag it out until they have drained your bank account down to like the last $5,000, and then they'll come up with a settlement agreement that they could have come up with a year and a half earlier. I know this from personal experience. My ex-wife and I had about $180,000 in equity in our house, and by the time it was all finished, we got nothing when the house was sold. Literally nothing. Yeah, you don't ever want to get divorced. Speaking of rats. Anyway, all right. So with that, let's wrap it up for today. I still haven't gotten a confirmation from Rob Shirelli, but he usually confirms last minute. Anyway, Monday's show, I want to talk to Shirelli about what his intent is when he sits down to start a mix. And there will be different kinds of intent depending on the artist, the style of music, and all that. So Monday, 4 o'clock right here. If you are new to Taxi TV and you have not hit the red subscribe button, please do that now. Also, please give us a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. I have them already printed out, the suggestions for future show topics, and I will get to them next week. Anybody else has any, please drop them in the comments after this show is done. Thank you all very much. See you back here Monday at 4 o'clock for another really, really super exciting episode of Taxi TV Live. Good night, you guys. Oh, and thank you for voting today.